Hello and welcome to Gonna Do's Garage. What I have here is a Nissan Patrol Maverick 1989 model. She's definitely one that I wouldn't mind in my collection. So, well, what I can see, it has a few rust spots that I'm going to try and fix. And also the paint is kind of, the lacquer's come off the top bonnet, so, but it's in good condition. As you can see here, it's starting to flake off. I did spray just with high gloss lacquer here, and you can see just in this position, just here and there. I just did just one spray, and I can see if I actually go over it like 3 times, it's gonna come out quite glossy. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do at this stage, but I might just sand it lightly and put a lacquer coat over it. I'm not going to spray it. I know you guys and girls will probably think you're crazy, but I'm just trying to just make it look more decent. So I will fix this, sand it down, and probably the bonnet, and paint just lightly, and then spray it with lacquer. But this is my concern here at the moment. It's got a few rust spots, so I'm going to address that and try to fix it the best I can. I couldn't match the paint. I just got a matte finish black that looks very similar to this. So, and even this side here, you can see the lacquer's come off it. And I started just one spray just to see what it would look, and it looks back again. It's like the original. So I might just taste that with lacquer, give it a good spray. Yep. So I'll get that rust spot first. I might also put some pinstripes, some fresh ones on. Let's come off this side. There we go. Pinstripes come off. But otherwise, it'll hopefully look a little bit more smarter once I've taken that rust spot off and given a good spray. We'll see how we go. So these tiny rust spots, I'm just going to lightly just sand them down. I'm not quite sure if I'll need to probably cut it out and put some fresh metal in there, and welded in, but I'm hoping to get away with that. So I'm using my sander just to break down the rust and have a look at the condition. You can see it's broken the metal on top. Through the rust has got through it. I can clean that up. I'll put some rust converter on that, and hopefully it'll change the metal, and make it acceptable to stop it from rusting. You can see the rust spots. It's eaten the metal, so I'm going to put some rust converter on that. Let's have a look at that once it's got into the metal and bonded with it. So we'll show you that. So just grab a rag. I'm using our rust converter. It's a primer and sealer, so it converts the rust and primes into one application. So it says easy to use, non-toxic, water-based. It'll change the colour of the metal into that kind of brown colour, so you know that's gotten in there and done its job. So we'll just rub that on. Just grab it with your finger if you want. So it's that brown colour. That's how it'll change. You just dab it. much. See if I could shoot this this converter into inside. So if there's anything in there, it'll hopefully stop it from spreading. So I'll just leave that. I'll try putting like a small little stick and just draining it in there. I won't show you what I'm doing, but you'll see that we'll come back and have a look at what it looks like. So it hasn't been over half an hour. I'm going to leave it for at least about 3 hours to the next day. So, and meanwhile, I'm going to see if I could I just want to test this out. You can see the lac has come off from the top, but this is still shiny. You can see the black, the whites are in here. It's been like scratched. I'm going to just lightly polish that. Not polish. Put some sandpaper, probably 2000 grit, and just see if I could take some of this white out. So I've got actually 1200 grit. So I just placed in water. I want to see how this comes out. So what I can do is my idea is I'm just going to put lacquer over it. So I'll clean that up, just have a look at it and see what it looks like. So it definitely looks better. Just taking a little bit of the top layer of any dirt and grime. So when that dries, if I spray that with a clear coat, that will definitely bring the shine look much better than it was. Even if I clean that up lightly and use like a light sandpaper, because I don't want to take too much of the paint off. And if there's any spots that I've gone a little bit too low, I might just spray that with black, and then I'm going to paint that. I'm just doing this pretty much until the vehicle comes back again, and if they want to do the bonnet, then I'll probably sand the whole thing down and respray it. So we'll see how it looks, but I'm just going to leave that rust spot until tomorrow, and we'll come back. So it definitely looks better. Just taking a little bit of the top layer of any dirt and grime. So when that dries, if I spray that with a clear coat, that will definitely bring the shine look much better than it was. Even if I clean very lightly and use like a light sandpaper, because I don't want to take too much of the paint off. And if there's any spots that I've gone a little bit too low, I might just spray that with black, and then I'm going to paint that. I'm just doing this pretty much until the vehicle comes back again, and if they want to do the bonnet, then I'll probably sand the whole thing down and respray it. So we'll see how it looks, but I'm just going to leave that rust spot until tomorrow, and we'll come back. So since I've sanded that, you can see it's just taken the top layer of the lacquer off. I haven't gone too deep, but can you see that? So don't panic, because once we spray that with the lacquer again, it'll bring the shine back. So imagine this, I'll just put water in a rag, it'll give you the same simulation of the lacquer going on. So if this was a lacquer, you'll see it like that. See how it looks wet. So that's the look we're looking for. Hi everyone, I'm back again on day 2. This is the rust converter. It's done what it's supposed to. It's changed the rusted metal back and neutralized it. So I'm going to also, that's what I used, the rust converter on there, and this is the cavity rust inverter I'm going to spray, and it's good for inside, so it'll stop the rust from getting from outside inside. So let's just spray that. Yeah, let's do this job. So it gets to spots you can't get in, especially if there's any rust anywhere else. It kind of definitely helps. So I'll go on top 2. I'll let that sit for a while. Let that dry. Definitely needs a good clean of the engine. So now I've started sanding. There was a lot of ridges in here, so I'm just using 100 sandpaper, and I folded it, and I'm just using my hands, trying to get rid of those lines. I'm using a cross section, going from one side to the other. The secret is to, when you're doing this, put your hand on this side and you feel it's so smooth. It's got to be exactly everywhere smooth. You can't feel any ridges. I'm feeling a lot of ridges here. So it's got to blend in till you close your eyes and you can't feel it on either direction. You know that you've got it then. So I can feel everything on this side's raised, so I've got to feather that down. You still feel those ridges. it's like a groove in here, and it goes all the way here, and I can't feel that at the moment, so I could probably use something round wrapped up with my sandpaper. First, let me just get down further. So, what I have at the moment, on the Bondi I've used 100 sandpaper. I'm trying to get the edges up. I still could feel it around here. Still not smooth. I've still got a little bit more to go. And I've just dropped it to an 800 sandpaper, and that's actually taken most of the top layers off and made it really nice and smooth. So I'm going to give it a break for today and come back again tomorrow and start it off and hopefully finish it. So we'll see you tomorrow. So I've used 100 grit sandpaper, and from 800 I've gone to 600, 800, 1000, and we've dropped it back to 600. As you can see, you can see from the clear's gone and the original paint underneath, or the primer. So I've knocked all the edges off, so it's nice and smooth now to the touch. So now I'm going to use a grease and grease remover. So now I'm going to use a wax and grease remover. Just get any dirt off, and I might just touch that up with a primer, and I'll keep that there overnight again, and I'll come back the next day and sand that and hopefully paint it. So I'm using the wax and grease remover. I just dabbed it on a cloth, so I'll just clean that. Okay, so now we'll let that dry for a while, and then I'll use a primer. I'll use a primer on that, I'm back again, and next day again, this is the second day. Just put some paper around and taped it all up, and I've just given it a coat of putty primer. So that has gone on. I've just taken the paper off, so that's what it looks like. And I'm going to wait at least about an hour or so and come back and probably sand that down, get it smooth, and then that's ready for paint. So let's do that. So the primer's dried. I'm about to sand it. You can feel the ridges around where the primer I've sprayed, so we've got to get that down and smooth and even. Prior to putting the primer on, where the main rust was, as I was sanding that flat, the putty, it's taken some of the edges around here too, so it was more just the paint off, and it looked like a ring around it, so you can tell the layers has been taken off. So I just masked the tape before the rings, so I could get a good coverage over there. So I'm going to dip this in water and wet sand that. A little bit more to go. The edges here. I'll keep sanding more till it's nice and smooth and no ridges. So when I run my finger from this part of the car right through, I shouldn't feel anything, it should feel uniform. So I'll keep going. So I've sanded it. It's nice and smooth. Okay, I'm just going to use some wax and grease remover. Take all the dirt off it, and I'm going to paint it. So I've applied some wax and grease remover. I'm just going to clean all around here. Okay, I'll let that dry, and I'll touch that up with a matte black. I'm about to spray the matte black enamel after I've sanded it and put the primer on. I use the putty first and then the primer. So I've masked the area around. Make sure you wear a mask when spraying. So let's do my first coat. I'll let that dry. And do my second coat. Let that dry for 10 minutes again. I'll just go with a third coat. I'll wait another 10 minutes and give it a fourth coat. The fourth coat. I'll let that dry. So I've taken the tape off. That's what I've done. I'm just going to spray just a little bit over, like to blend it in around, and that should be it. So I'll just spray just around. You might not be able to see because I've got to use the paint can and I won't be able to hold it and do it at the same time. I need to put some paper on here. Okay, so just put the paper just around so you can see the line around here and here. Just going just a bit over. Just blend it in. Okay, I'll just leave that. Let it dry for at least 3 hours, and then I'm going to use clear. So I'll just move all the paper. Let's have a look at it. With a gloss on it. Yeah. Let me take my mask off. Alright. So I'll let that dry, and then I could hit it with clear and blend it all in. So at the moment this is full coats. Just something that you might want to watch when you're painting. I stuffed up and I had to take everything off again with grease and wax remover. There was a little bit of a streak. I sprayed it too close and it had a run, and stupid me tried to dab it with a cloth and I just ruined it. So I had to take it all back out and start again. What I find when you're painting, start off from here on the paper, spray it there and then go over it. Was what I was tending to do, was just spray it straight on the paint, and you're getting splatters everywhere. So shake the can really well, aim it around here, and then start and spray it and go around over again, and just keep going like that, up and down. One coat, apply it on top and then try to overlap it, but don't go over it again, because once you go over it, it's going to have runs in it. So that's the secret. Wait at least about 10 minutes and start spraying again. Just light coats, and this is my fourth, so much better. I haven't got any splatters at all. So I've removed a little bit of the tape and just spread it more, so I just didn't want too much of a patch. I like to blend it in around. So this is going to be my 5th coat. So I'll put the mask on. The alarm's about to go off to tell me it's in 10 minutes. Okay, sorry about that. Let me just check the time. So this is going to be my 5th coat. So starting on this side here, on the paper. So this is the 5th coat. I'm hoping that's going to be it. So I'll leave that for 10 minutes and we'll come back and have a look. So finally got the paint on. I'm just going to use wax and grease remover just to get the dust off. And I'm going to spray it with lacquer. So I put about nearly 4 coats of lacquer, or 5. The only problem is I couldn't get the matching paint, so you can actually see through. It's gone like a grey colour. So I might just leave it like that for a little while, and I'll have to probably find the right matching paint. So if it was matching paint, it would have blended perfectly. You wouldn't have been able to see much. Just got a little bit of over there where it's like a little bit of dust coming out. I'll have to let that dry. I'll have to touch it with some sandpaper and spray it again, but hopefully by then I could get the matching paint and kind of just get rid of the gloss and spray it again. And then the problem is, don't let the like I did it the next day, and I kind of put I did it today, and I used a wet wax and grease remover. So I think it kind of stained the paint a little bit. So that's not good. So I'm gonna have to move on. So this bit here, the door, I'm just gonna sand that and just spray it with clear. Let's see how that goes. So I'm using 1200 grit paper. I'm just going to sand that down. Just to get a little bit of a scuff mark and get the clear off. I just want to see what this one looks like after spraying it. Let that dry for a while. So I've scuffed that with 1200 grit. I used wax and grease remover. Now I'm just going to spray that with clear and see how that looks. So I've taped everything around where I don't want the spray to go. So I'll put my mask on and we'll see how that looks by spraying it. So I'm about to spray using acrylic, top coat clear. Take the can. That's the previous job I just did. To the rust. Okay, let's start. I go 25 centimeters away and just give it a light coat first. Okay, let that sit. I'll move on, wait 5 minutes, and I'll spray it again, second coat. Okay, this is going to be my second coat after 5 minutes. Still keeping it away, about 25 centimeters away, and light coats. Okay. Looking good. Third I'll do one more 25 centimeters, and then I'll probably hit it just a little bit closer and try to get closer and slower. It's almost looking better. As you can see, this is starting to look much better. Because what we're trying to do is, if you can see the spray, it's open. After a while, it'll start to close and then it'll spread more even on top. So this is going to be my third coat. So I'll keep it just one more away, about 25 centimeters, and overlap it. And I'll leave that for 5 minutes, and I'll come a little bit closer, and that should actually fill in most of the gaps. Keep your mask on. Okay, that's the third coat. Looking better. The fourth coat should be much better. I'll go a little bit closer. So I'm coming on to my fourth shortly, but I'm going to also tackle the front. As you can see, and the sides, it's all dull on the top there. And I did mention I was going to put some pin stripes, so I will do that. So I'll give that the fourth coat now. I'm going closer now. Getting there. This is the fifth and final coat I'm giving you. Okay, let that settle for a while. There you go. And I like it to look better. So we're back the next day after spraying the door here. It's looking much better. I didn't actually touch up the stone chips, but I sanded it and just lacquered it again, so it's brought its sheen back up. Also, that's the job I did on top. Not bad, it's just that colour. It's just, you can see it's just not the right colour, but otherwise I'm happy with it. So what I will do, which I won't show you guys, but probably another week or two, I'll get some light sandpaper and take some of this, there's something caught in there, a little dust, so I'll just sand again, and this probably put a nice coat on it, but and probably later down the track I'll have to, if they bring it back, I'll sand it and spray it again, the right matching colour. So I'm going to start the front. So as you can see, don't know what I'm going to do, if I'm just going to sand it and probably just give it one coat of paint. So I've just filled a little bit of a scratch here with Bondo. I'll sand that down. I've sanded previously the front here, scuffed it up a little bit, and I haven't done this, as you can see. It just feels like dirt's got into the paint, so I'll have to just lightly sand it. I don't want to take too much off it, because I want to just spray it and hopefully keep that protected for a while till we can do the hood again. So I might scuff this up also and paint, put high gloss on it. So hopefully that will look a little bit better once I've done that. So I'm going to show you all of what I'm doing, but I've got hot water, 1200 quick, and slightly just gonna sand it. I might clean it first. So I've wet it down, cleaned it a little bit, and I'm just going to use the sandpaper and just lightly just scuff it up. I don't want to take too much of paint off, so it is very rough, so straight away once I'm using the sandpaper, it's definitely taking the top roughness off. So I'll just go right around all of the bonnet and scuff it up, and once I've done that, don't forget to use like a cross hatch pattern. I'm not taking too much off, just lightly on top. So after I've done that, we'll come back. This is the third, actually the fourth coat. I'm going to have to go slower. Might be going too fast.